Bit more of a chill video today, a little more laid back. This is sort of a progress update. I've got a mock here that I want to showcase that I think you guys will like a lot. It's not completely finished, and I have briefly shown it in another video, but I've also got some 3D print semi-success and more 3D prints on the way in the other room. So cross your fingers for me that that one works. A couple other things to talk about, including talking a little bit more about the last video I made. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. And of course, if you like this type of content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe because it helps the channel out and it continues us growing onward. Closer to 2,700. All right. So first off, 3D printing. So I actually printed this helmet piece, some arms and some legs for Stringer yesterday. This is not a perfect black, by the way. It's actually like a trans black, which is weird because that's not what it says on the bottle, but whatever. It's pretty thin. I will make an exception for it. That said, though, it looks really good, but I did run into one small issue, so I'm running another print right now, hopefully to rectify that issue. Once it is fixed and it comes out without any flaws, those files will be made available for free over on the Discord. You don't even have to be a Patreon member for that. Along with that, in terms of the arms, in terms of the legs, they're okay. The legs came out with a bit of a fail, which is what I'm kind of trying to fix, trying to determine what the root cause of that problem is in the first place. I think I know what it is, but I'm not positive, so I am working on it. Outside of that, had to resize a couple things. So the print I'm running today is actually a scaling print. I'm doing 3 different sizes, like minute changes just to see what fits the best with Lego. All of these pieces do fit. Some of them are a little bit too loose for my liking personally. This helmet is a little bit loose here, so if I try to like pick up the character from the helmet, like it works, but it'll just fall off too easy. I'm not super happy with that. So I went ahead and scaled that, like I said. It's interesting too, because that's actually scaled slightly smaller than Nex's helmet, but Nex's helmet actually had better clutch power. So I'm not sure what the cause of that was. I may have an idea. Point being, doesn't really matter a whole lot. With that said, though, I adjusted the size of some clips and stuff. Anyway, spent too much time on this one already. So fingers crossed it works. I'll know by this afternoon or this evening. So next up, the mock. This is one I think you guys will be excited for. It's not completely finished, as I mentioned, but something that I'm doing for 2011 Bionicle after the Bara Magna expansion project is actually working on the avatars and the lords, the elemental lords, right, for Bara Magna specifically. So what are avatars? That's my own thing. Those are essentially the animal or rahi, whatever you want to call them, embodiments of each of the 9 elements. And yeah, I said 9. You can follow that up in one of the other videos I made. But suffice to say, this is one that I'm doing for jungle. It is a big snake creature, and these are supposed to be big for the most part. What I really like about this is that this is not just a snake, but it's kind of a cobra-inspired snake, and so it can actually tilt the neck back and tilt the head forward. So you actually get that sort of like erect pose for the snake itself. I'm going to make sure I don't say that again. Along with that, though, the actual shaping of it is really good, and the fit of each of those moving parts is really good as well, because being able to move here while still retaining like the slithering, slinking motion of the body, being able to move the head down is all fantastic stuff. Something I do want to mess around with more, though, is the bottom jaw here. It's just too narrow for my liking for a snake like this, so I might reshape some parts of the front of the head, but we'll see, because I do really like overall what is going on there. Just a couple little things that I want to touch up on. That said, it uses my illegal or hidden technique with these spike barb pieces, which is where this also showed up in that video. So stay tuned for this one. I'm really excited about it. And I did get more of these lime green Gresh stars pieces recently too. So I'll get to expand this body more. That's good. And I think I have like, I don't know, at least 2 more of those lime green Nuva. Oh, that reminds me too. I've had a lot of people ask me where these pieces came from also. They're actually a real Lego piece. They were made for Exoforce's Gate Assault set. You get 2 of them in that set. Unfortunately, the set is a bit more expensive now. It was not expensive when I bought it. I bought it brand new from a Lego reseller shop, like a brick and mortar store, in the box for $40, I think in like 2020. Unfortunately, now it's like closer to 100, which is crazy, but you know, prices, everything's inflating, and people are also, I've talked about it. Okay, what else? So, Also, video on this should be up here pretty soon. Going to be doing this one either later tonight or tomorrow. This is the passion fruit. It is ready to go, so I can't wait. It smells so good too. I can't wait. I'm very excited about that one. And oh yes, so I just addressed some of the comments that I had for the last video. And that was talking about sort of an issue that I think LEGO has with space, but I wanted to clarify a few thoughts because I had some comments below that video. One comment was talking about it being sort of a nostalgia pandering video, and I apologize if that's the way it came out. I'm not gonna like call anybody out for this either because I didn't intend for it to be that way. Rather, the examples of what I'd like to see more of were classic sets, not because I'm nostalgic for them. I didn't own those sets as a kid at all, but rather because they were a good example of what I was trying to illustrate, in that the two sets that I focused on in that video outside of the Dungeons & Dragons set was the Sentai Fortress from Exo Force from 2006 and then the Fortress from the Viking set from 2005. And I focused on both of those specifically because they both have something in common. They're both entire surrounds with basically empty centers, right? And that's something I want to see more of from LEGO, specifically as sets geared for kids. I don't think that they're necessarily like sets geared for adults because adults tend to like display pieces more because at least part of the time you're not playing with the sets you build, where adults, and I don't know, maybe there's some shunning on that. But also, at the same time, you know, kids, I think, just generally have a lot more imaginative play, and that empty space allows for a lot of opportunities for kids. And again, it was something that was much more common in older sets, so that's why I used those as my examples. Not because they were old, but because that was a common illustration back in the day. I remember getting the catalogs back all the way in the mid 2000s and like flipping through them around Christmas or whatever, or maybe it's January, somewhere in there, and seeing like all of the different sets that had that sort of either semicircular facade or a complete enclosure. And we just don't get a lot of those anymore. We still get some, and we have some themes that play into this, like Mario, like Animal Crossing, but I think with those themes specifically, it doesn't address all of the issues that I'd like to see fixed, but it does address at least some. Obviously, those are different scales of sets at the end of the day. So yeah, pretty happy with all of that. I am happy for the most part with the direction that LEGO is going. I know that I nitpick LEGO a lot in many of my videos, but I do so as a consumer, as somebody who cares about the product. But LEGO still creates like my favorite toy product of all time. So of course I'm going to have some criticisms. I'm not blind and completely beholden to everything that LEGO creates, and I don't think that everything that they do is perfect 100% of the time, right? I'm by no means a perfectionist when it comes to LEGO at all. And I just understand that my expectations are my own and not everybody agrees, and that's also okay. So I don't mean that every set needs to become a fortress with a hollow center or a semicircular facade. I'm just hoping that it's something that we see more of in the future. Ninjago still carries us over pretty well with that. Monkey Kid does a pretty good job with it as well. So, you know, I can't complain too much. With that said, though, that's most everything I wanted to cover. I'm actually pretty happy with this one because I recorded this a handful of minutes ago and it was much longer. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know by leaving a like and subscribe. It also really helps with the algorithm too. It's completely free and it's the best possible way that you can thank me as a creator here. Obviously, again, this video is a lot more chill, a lot more laid back. So if this is content that you do want to see, the only way I can know that is through those likes and through those comments below. So let's continue the conversation down in the comments. But if you want to take that conversation further, or you want to get these pieces for yourself to be able to either 3D print or mess around with in Blender or whatever you might use, Studio, etc., those will be found on Discord. And once these pieces are successfully created, then I will also throw them together in Part Designer for Studio and throw those on Discord as well. So that'll all be free. But like I said, you can also support me over on Patreon. I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care.